Gen Reading today is we're learning to investigate how digital texts are organised to be able to assist the reader with understanding and navigation. So those two words are really important here. So how are digital texts organised to help the reader understand and navigate the digital text? So yesterday we had a look at Blue Planet biomes, and we're going to have a look at that again today. But this time when we look at it, yesterday we had a look at hyperlinks and pages and how it was broken up into sections. Today we're actually going to look at, again, the layout, but in particular we're looking at font. We're looking at the colors the author's using, and we're looking at the images that they're using to engage the reader. So they're really important things that you need to have in your digital text. And we need to be able to explain why authors need to engage their reader through these features of a digital text. Okay, so let's go to our website again. And let's think about those things. So it was colors, fonts, images, layout. Okay, so straight away, I look at that image. And I see that image is a big image. It's taking up the whole page. It's engaging me and pulling me in. It's specific to the topic that we're looking at, which is about biomes. And it's really getting me pulled in and thinking about that. Let me scroll down. I really like here how the author of this website is using maps. Maps are really important too to be able to communicate thinking, especially based on the topic that we're doing. But I really, really like how this map is interactive. So when I hover over this map, it's actually identifying on the map those biomes. So if I was in Australia and I wanted to know what biomes were in Australia, I could just hover over and go, okay, well, there's deciduous forest biomes, there's savanna biomes, there's desert biomes. So there's all of those different biomes in Australia. And that's really interesting, but I can see what the different biomes are around the world. So if I go down to the Arctic areas, so I can see that they're tundra biomes. And I bet you when I click on it, look at that, hyperlinked me to the tundra biomes. So that is really cool. One thing I really like here, if I think about the font, is just the size. Even like how this is a title and it's got those capital letters, that's really, really important. But the image is there and it connects to the information that the author is telling us. So some facts about our planet. Well, I don't have an image of an animal there. They're actually using an image of the planet Earth. Information about our sun. We've got an image of the sun. Information about the living Earth. Well, we've got a bit of a zoom in image of the earth there. So that's giving me some information about that. Information about animals. Well, I've got an animal. Information about plants. This is a bit of an interesting one. Probably not the choice that I would use, but I can see that that's algae and that's a living organism. And it's telling us here about organisms as well. So I suppose this is matching the text, but maybe not something I would use if I was giving some information about plants. Climate, giving me, look at that. We've got that mist on the water. We've got those alpine biomes. So it's really there making those connections. Images here matching the hyperlinks that I can go to as well. Let's have a look and see what else we've got. So we were talking about colors. Even the colors of this background, like they're just using those, those colors like white and gray. So the writing stands out and it doesn't get lost. Sometimes when we put bright colored backgrounds on, it's hard for us to actually read the writing and it doesn't actually engage our audience. But I've even noticed here something really simple is they've actually put a border around the images. So they've actually bordered that to make it look like a picture or a photo, but they've actually created that little border around it. So that's a really clever thing for them to do. Let's go into the tundra. Let's click on tundra. Let's have a look and see. Again here, this is a lot of information about tundra. So they haven't really got those subheadings here like they did in the rainforest one. But I notice how they've got these words in blue. And straight away, I can see that they're hyperlinked. So I'm thinking two things. Number one, this is either going to take me to a glossary, or number two, it's going to take me to that page where I can find more information about that. Let's have a look and see. So if I click on Wolverines, it's actually going to take me to the page about Wolverines. What about this subject-specific word over here? What if I click on biomass? There we go. And it's taking me to the glossary. So that's really clever. So they've actually hyperlinked using a few different things. So hyperlinked to a page that's going to give me that information, or it's hyperlinking me to the glossary that's going to give me that information. So that's really clever. All right, let's go through and have a look at the layout of let's do some animals actually. Let's look at the grizzly bear. All right, so pretty simple layout here. We've got the heading. Notice how it's in capital letters. That's really important. And it's using some of those scientific words. So it's the scientific and technical words about the grizzly bear. We've got a small image again with that border around it. And we've got the text moving and being written around the border. But it's broken up into paragraphs. Now, paragraphs are really important. Not only does it support the reader, but it also breaks up our information into topics. So we've got here telling us where they're found. It's about their strength, about their bodies, about their diet, about their reproduction, and about their population. So each paragraph is a different is a new piece of information. So it's not all chunked together in one paragraph. They've actually broken it up into paragraphs. So it's easy for me to read and to understand. So if I'm skimming that text, I can easily find information. Let's have a look and see what they do for plants, if that's laid out the same. Let's go to a bearberry. And there we go, exactly the same. We've got the title, we've got the technical scientific names and information, we've got our image, and we've got our information that's broken up into paragraphs. So I really like the consistency of this website. So it's really consistent. So it's not changing if I go to a new page, okay, so I'm thinking about how I have to navigate this now. It's consistent. And it's really aesthetically pleasing for the reader to be able to read, because I don't have to do much work. My only job to do is to really click on that information and it's going to give it to me. And I just pretty much have to read and skim and scan that text. I don't have to think about, okay, this is a new layout. How do I navigate this? So it's keeping it really, really simple. And the technique of using that is really important. So if we go back to our success criteria about explaining why authors need to engage their readers through features of a digital text. Well, that's really important. Like I said, it's important for the reader to be able to navigate and not have to work too hard by keeping that consistent throughout, by having these hyperlinks going where I want them to go. That's really important. Having those buttons taking me where I want to go. I know that I can click on there. I'm going to go back home. When I clicked on those animals though, we've got some information here broken up again into those paragraphs with those headings. So just that layout is just so easy for me to navigate as the reader. And that's really, really important when we're creating those digital texts, or when authors are creating digital texts. The purpose is to engage their audience, but they're only going to engage the audience if their website is easy for them to navigate. So that's really important for us to think about.